I've done a few videos over the years comparing annuities and drawdown for taking pension benefits. But annuities themselves are a very hot topic right now, so I think it's time I updated things a bit. Hi and welcome back to the channel. My name is Pete Matthew and I'm a chartered financial planner based here in the UK. If you have a defined contribution pension, one in which you build up a fund of money, eventually you're going to have to make a choice about what to do with that money. And your two main options are to buy an annuity or opt for some kind of drawdown arrangement. Now I've done two videos fairly recently on the mechanics of these and when you would use them with some examples, so I'll link to both those videos in the description. But today I want to address whether anything has changed given the tumultuous events of 2022 so far and look at the factors in the choice between annuity and drawdown. Now there are some key differences between opting for a drawdown arrangement versus buying an annuity. Easily the most important difference, to me at least, is that annuities offer a guaranteed income, whereas drawdown plans are not guaranteed at all. Once you set up an annuity, it'll pay for as long as you have set it up to do so, usually for life. And even if the annuity company goes bust, there are lots of protections under the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. Now with a drawdown fund, you can draw what you want off that pot when you want. And if you draw too much, or if the investments don't perform as you hoped, you could potentially run out of money altogether. Annuities offer you lots of options at outset, but once they're in force, an annuity is fixed, completely inflexible. So if your circumstances change in such a way that make your initial choices less optimal, you're a little bit stuck. Drawdown plans offer lots of flexibility though. You can turn the income on or off, you can turn it up or down at will. And you can opt for full or partial crystallization of your pension fund, or even the unhelpfully titled Off Plus option. Again, see the videos linked in the description for more on all that. And then legacy options. They're also very different. An annuity dies with you, or with your partner if you provide an income for them if you die first. You can build in some protection in some cases for a legacy to be paid, but that will cost you a reduced income while you're alive. Anything left in a drawdown fund can be nominated to your chosen beneficiaries and passed to them pretty tax efficiently, tax-free even, if you die before age 75. So a pension fund can become a kind of multi-generational planning tool, assuming of course that you don't spend it all. So guarantees, flexibility and legacy options are key distinguishing factors. Now annuities have been out of favour for quite a long time, primarily because of very low annuity rates. I'll put a chart up here which shows you how rates have moved in the last 15 years and dropping significantly since the financial crisis back in 2008, hitting all-time lows all around Brexit, concerns over no deal and all that sort of stuff. Remember that? Seems like ages ago. In 2022, rates have surged back up to 2007 levels for all kinds of reasons, which I won't go into now. But the annuity rate is the amount of annual income you get for every, say, £1,000 of fund that you hand over to the annuity company. So if you're a 65-year-old in good health, you can get an annuity rate currently of 7.42% for a level annuity on a single life basis. Then you can get 4.21% for an annuity that rises each year with RPI. Now the big risk with annuities, and the main reason really that drawdown was invented, was always that you might not live long enough to get your money back. After all, a guaranteed income for life sounds good, but if for life is only 2 years because you die 2 years after taking out your annuity, then you've lost out big time. Well, at that 7.42% interest rate, you'll get your money back in 13.5 years, which is a pretty reasonable life expectancy for a 65-year-old. Of course, as is always the case, some will die early and some will live for 30 years or more. And this element of cross-subsidy, where those that die too young subsidise those who live for a long time, that's always going to be part of annuity rate pricing. But higher rates kind of soften this to some extent, and I think that's a big reason why annuities are making a comeback now. So if you are approaching retirement, what are the factors that might influence your choice of annuity over drawdown? Well, we'll get to that in just a second, but if this is useful so far, please do hit the like button to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. It helps the channel to grow because it tells YouTube that the content is good. So Thank you in advance for that. So no surprise that the three factors that we've already discussed are actually the considerations here. Firstly, the need for guarantees. So if you have a secure income base, maybe from DB pension scheme, state pension, maybe rent from an investment property, and if these incomes largely cover your day-to-day expenses, then you're less likely to need a further guaranteed income from an annuity. But if, on the other hand, you're having to dig deep into pension funds, cash, and other investments just to cover your daily spending needs, then potentially the volatile nature of a drawdown plan and the fact that it might run out could put your security at risk. I mean, if there's any chance that your money might run out in the shorter term, then maybe some kind of additional guarantee might be useful. I think a lot of this comes down to attitude to risk, capacity for loss, how much of your fund could you lose before things get tight, and of course your view on and interest in investing. It's a decision, like all financial decisions, which is unique to your personal circumstances. I mean, that's why I have a job as a financial advisor, to guide people through these decisions. Flexibility is our second factor. When you look ahead at the timeline of your life, as much as we're able to do that, of course, are you likely to benefit from the flexibility of drawdown? Or would the inflexibility of an annuity actually be a benefit to you? This might mean that you have to be honest with yourself, something which is notoriously difficult for human beings. But for instance, I've counseled people to buy an annuity if I think that their indiscipline might mean that they spend their drawdown fund too quickly. I mean, we really can be our own worst enemy sometimes. And sometimes we have to put frameworks in place to help us to help ourselves. And an annuity could be a way of doing this. If you need a higher level of income for a shorter period of time, maybe the few years before your state pension kicks in, then maybe a drawdown pot could be helpful for this because you can dial down the income later on. But you could also consider a temporary annuity for this, which is a kind of annuity transaction where you hand over a smaller amount of money for an income that lasts just for a set period of time rather than for life. Our choice of financial vehicles should always be informed by the shape of our life plans, our hopes and our goals. Life, of course, has a habit of laughing at our plans and throwing us curveballs. And if we have complex family situations, then the likelihood of that is arguably even higher. But you should start with what you would like your finances to look like and then choose the appropriate vehicle. The third factor is whether or not you want to leave a legacy. And if you have a strong desire to leave money for your family, this is going to be a really big factor, I think, in your choice of option. Now, if you're in ill health, you'll get a better annuity rate due to your curtailed life expectancy. But the annuity will die with you. Now you can, as I've said, build in some capital protection, a kind of lump sum when you die, but this will materially impact your income while you're alive. But the excellent death benefits under the pension's freedoms make retaining your fund in drawdown, or even uncrystallized, a very attractive proposition, perhaps even more so if you're in ill health. I always say that you should look after number one first, so make sure that you have the income and capital you need to live life as you want to. But after that, you can look to the next generation and choose what might be best for them. So for example, we have clients with pension funds or maybe parts of their pension funds that we've worked out that they will never touch. And then we can invest that money really aggressively, keep it in drawdown, but that will then maximize the legacy for the children. So hopefully you get the idea, folks. The resurgence of annuity rates has brought them very much back into the picture, which I think is great. If nothing else, it's nice to have options. But please remember, any decisions, they don't have to be binary, one option or the other. You could opt for a blend, a little bit of an annuity to secure your needs and keep the rest in drawdown for the flexibility maybe. But as ever, if you're worried about making these big decisions, please seek professional financial planning advice. It'll pay for itself many times over in avoiding mistakes, overpaying tax, maybe locking yourself into a plan which might not be suitable throughout life. We can help you at Jackson's, we're in Penzance, which is a long way from anywhere, but if you're happy to work remotely, there's a link in the description about how you can work with us. So I hope that was helpful, folks. Loads of things to think about. There always is with this stuff, but thanks for watching this one. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.